Hello and welcome. It's the 7th day of February 2023. And yes, it's another beautiful day to bring you headlines in the various newspapers across the nation. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and I'm saying a big thank you to you for joining me once again. Mr. Victor Sioku, how do you do? Because
I'm all
he's
right.
the person who wants to get to look at the papers with me.
Thank
How do
you,
you do,
sir.
sir?
Approximately normal.
Okay. How have you been coping with the cashlessness and the fuel scarcity in the country?
Well, just like almost every Nigerian, we're into it together. And I pray, I pray that God delivers us come. I think this should last till the end of the month. And I pray that we'll come out of it better.
What does this mean for the elections that are coming up on the 25th? Lack of fuel scarcity, people intending to travel to go and vote, and no cash available. Do you see it as political, or you feel it's just mere coincidence that we are unfortunate to be experiencing times like this?
Well, it has a bit of a political undertone. Okay, regarding that. And also, it's so evident, to be frank with you, it's so evident that it will affect the votes of the APC, the ruling party right now. It might not be the decider, okay, but they might just lose some supporters with respect.
Because a lot of Nigerians are angry, right?
100.
They're upset. Okay, not without wasting much time, we'll be going straight into our first paper for the day, which is the Daily Sun newspaper. Headlines here in the Daily Sun on page 6 and 8, we have Naira crisis widens. Naira crisis widens. Court bars Buhari CBN from extending February 10th deadline. APC governors sue President. Malami ask Supreme Court to stop cashless policy. 14 political parties threaten to boycott poll. Okay, more of this headline is on page 6 and 8 of Daily Sun. And on page 7, we have INEC beefs up security for sensitive materials. INEC beefs up security for sensitive materials. Reconfirms deployment of 1.2 ad hoc staff. Okay, more of that headline there is on page 7 of Daily Sun. On page 25, we have NIPC unveils master plan to boost FDIs. NIPC unveils master plan to boost FDIs. That's on page 25. On page 4, we have alleged money laundering. Court frees ex-governor Okorocha. Alleged money laundering. Court frees ex-governor Okorocha. That's on page 4. On page 27, we have Atiku pledges to end Benue killings. Ensure peace between Tiv and Fulani. That's on page 27. On page 8, we have 2023 presidency. North should complete 14 years to meet up with South, according to Dogara on page 8. On page 27, again, we have no difference between PDP bandits, says Tinubu. No difference between PDP and bandits, says Tinubu. Buhari scores self-pass mark. Buhari scores self-pass mark. Okay, more of that headline there is on page 27 again. On page 27 again, we have Buhari condemns killing of Nigerians in Burkina Faso. Urges investigation. Buhari condemns killings of Nigerians in Burkina Faso. Urges investigation. That's on page 27. On page 6, we have federal government awards over 85 billion naira census contract to tech giant Xenox Technologies. FG awards over 85 billion naira census contract to tech giant Xenox Technologies. That's on page 6 here. And lastly, we have in the Daily Sun, APC announces indefinite postponement of campaign rally in Oyo. APC announces indefinite postponement of campaign rally in Oyo. That's on page 7 of the Daily Sun. Mr. Victor, I would like you to react to the Naira crisis that is widening. I think that story is on page 6 and 8. Please react to that headline.
Okay, yeah, the crisis is widening. Reason. Just yesterday, we got the news that 4 political parties, that is the AA, that's the Action Alliance, the NRM, the APP, and one other A party. Okay, sorry, they are too numerous. Okay, and yeah, they went to court to to get an injunction, okay, saying that the current policy of the CBN will have to go ahead. That the president, the CBN, and all stakeholders shall not tamper with this policy until the case they went to court with, that's NHS court to, as a federal high court, to that case will be heard. So nothing should be done about postponing the policy. Remember, we've been given up to February the 10th to keep using the old Naira notes.
Just a few days from now.
Yeah, just about 3 days from now. So what this court injunction has caused is that, remember, the governors and the top politician from the APC had already gone to the president, to meet the president, for him to extend further. But what this injunction has now caused is that even the president that promised them that they will hear from him in the next 7 days, which will soon elapse, it also means that the president must wait till the court hearing of this the case that they went to submit yesterday, meaning that this might linger into the elections. And what will that mean? To me, it will mean that the president is winning over his party, because his party, for the best of my knowledge right now, he feels that the party is against the president. So they are now more like there is a battle. There's a battle currently happening.
Okay.
So the president is now winning over the battle. But I now ask, could it be that the president or the presidency went through the back to mobilize these parties, these smaller parties, to go out and get this injunction, this interim injunction, stopping the presidency, stopping the CBN from extending further this deadline? But what is happening at the APC, they are crying blue mother, which we already know that will happen. And we should also know that the Labour Party, the PDP, they are okay with all this. So going forward, it might just be that.
Okay, when you say they are okay, it's almost like saying they are not affected by whatever is going on right now.
No, they feel just like Peter B mentioned 2 days ago. He feels that this, yes, there's so much pain in the land, but he feels that for you to gain, you need to also accept the pains. So right now is the time.
What if the pains are too much? Yes. What if the pains are too much to cope with?
Okay, Peter B is hopeful.
And the pains end up killing you.
Peter B is hopeful that these two will pass. That in no long time,
it will pass after
Nigeria will
so
get
many casualties.
Well, as it stands, I think that personally, I know that it's really tough for Nigerians out there, but I also think that this is good. It's a good policy. Like I was telling Abule yesterday, Nigeria on its own needs to just try and embrace this. Yes, we are also, at the same time, we are also enemies of ourselves. Reason why am I saying this? Because if you go to the POS agents are ripping people off.
That's a fact. Yeah. That's a fact.
They are ripping people off.
We are enemies of ourselves in this country.
This is not a Buhari affair.
Taking advantage of the current cashless situation and then frauding people.
Exactly. So why would I be going out to get 1,000 naira and I'm paying 200?
I'm paying 200, 300. Somebody is 300.
Okay, it does not make sense.
You want to withdraw? I wanted to withdraw 5,000 yesterday. They're telling me 1,000 naira.
Okay, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Collecting 20% of somebody's suffering just because I need physical cash. It doesn't make sense, my brother.
Exactly. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for your thoughts on that headline. Let's move quickly now to our next paper, which is the Vanguard newspaper. And we have more interesting headlines. On page 5 in the Vanguard, we have old notes. Don't extend February 10th deadline. Court tells federal government, CBN. Old notes, don't extend February 10th deadline. Court tells FG, CBN. More of that headline is on page 5 of the Vanguard. In the world of sports, on page In here in the Vanguard, page 28, we have Nigerian footballer Hadi dies in Spain. That's a sad news there. Nigerian footballer Hadi dies in Spain. Okay. More of that is on page 28. On page 21, we have aviation. Airfares surge 95% as jet A1 scarcity bites harder. Okay, that's on page 21. And in health, on page 20, we have 4.6 million girls at risk of FGM by 2030, according to UNFPA and UNICEF. Okay, that's on page 20. On page 27, we have rescuers work through night after Turkey, Syria quick kills 3,000. Okay, that's another sad headline there from the Vanguard newspaper on page 27. Go again. Rescuers work through night after Turkey, Syria quick kills 3,000. Okay, on page 11, we have Ekweremadu Madu in court as alleged organ harvesting trial commences. Ekweremadu Madu in court as alleged organ harvesting trial commences. Okay, that's on page 11. On page 13, we have Yobe Court. Yobe North, I beg your pardon. Yobe North. Supreme Court restores Lawan as APC Senate candidate. Yobe North. Supreme Court restores Lawan as APC Senate candidate. That's on page 13 of the Vanguard. And lastly, here in the Vanguard, we have on page 6, Katsina killings. Death toll rises to 100. More residents still missing. Okay, that's the much we can take in the Vanguard for today. Mr. Victor, which of the headlines in the Vanguard?
Okay, please, let me start with the earthquake that happened in Turkey and Syria yesterday. It was really a tragic one.
Yeah, tragic one there.
It's so sad how you just see innocent people just die because of nature. And yeah, there are many scientific facts about these earthquakes. I know going forward, the advocates of green energy will come out very, very quickly to promote that in this world, what you take in is what you give out. Why am I saying this? Because if you also check scientifically, you find out that the human nature are also causing a part of this earthquake. Yes, earthquakes are caused by plate tectonics, meaning that in the world, the earth structure, mind you, the earth structure is moving, okay? And when this movement is being done, there are places where some gaps are being filled, okay? I'm just trying to come down to a layman's, for the layman to understand. Now, you find out that in the come on, am I supposed to be saying it? But okay, in the surface of the earth, there are voids in there. Okay, so underground, underneath this ground, there are voids, there are holes that needs to be compensated. Okay. So when, mind you, as you and I are, there's earthquake happening right now. Okay, why am I calling it? But there are mini earthquakes. Okay, so as you are, so that is why.
Are you sure we won't consider relocating?
So as we are, there are vibrations happening. Okay, that is why when you put a seismograph here, you see some tremors. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, but what just happened yesterday was a very huge quake, a huge shaking of the plates, of the tectonic plates. That's the subsurface having a big shake. Okay. So that was why we had that 7.8 magnitude of earthquake. But mind you, some zones in this world have are under a particular umbrella called the ring of fire. Okay, that ring of fire is where you have most of the earthquakes happening. Okay, fortunately for Nigeria, we are not along that ring of fire.
Ah, hallelujah.
And many African countries. Okay, we are not
at least something to smile about in this country.
Yes. And this is one of this earthquake that happened. It's just too devastating. It reminded me of Haiti in 2010. Back then, I was a student of seismic. Okay, so we were learning seismic or seismology back then, and that earthquake happened, and it made me to learn one or two things about the earthquake. So what has happened now? Yes, after the 7.8 magnitude, which is very, very high, mind you. When I mean very, very, very high, okay? So it caused so much destruction, okay? And afterwards, there was another one, 7.7 magnitude. Many a times when earthquakes happen, we advise, or scientists advise people that, see, when the first earthquake happens, or this is also to our viewers in case you travel or anything happen, Nigeria is, earthquake can still happen, but I just hope that it might not just, scientifically, it should not be about that 5 point or 6 point, not talking about 7.8. And mind you, yes, Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is bad. Yeah, I know Nigeria is crazy and all that, but do you know that in Ibadan, we have a center that monitors earthquake in Nigeria?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So for every hour, we know the vibrations that happen within our space in Nigeria. Okay. Hope
that's impressive.
Okay. So we are studying. Yeah, we are studying our yeah. I'm back in 1900s, early 1900s. There was still an earthquake that happened, but it wasn't just so strong or deadly. But yes, it also happened to our neighbors, Ghana. But that aside, so the 7.7 that happened, as in the follow-up earthquake, we call it aftershocks. Okay, so that's why I'm saying it's advised when an earthquake happens anywhere you are, be prepared for the aftershock. But this time around, it did not just come as because aftershocks are like maybe, not maybe. Now, mind you, some layers in the subsurface has balanced. Mind you, earthquake is just a part of the subsurface trying to get itself back to its structure.
Okay. So Victor,
sorry, but just to end, but just to fall.
Sorry.
Okay.
What can actually be done to reduce the occurrence of earthquake, or is it something that humans just need to just fold their hands and watch happen almost anytime it wants to happen?
Now,
can something be done?
Okay,
to reduce
there has been strong study that, do you know that oil exploration and exploitation can cause earthquakes?
Okay.
Reason, because you are taking something out of the ground, you are creating a void, and that void needs to
without filling it up. Okay.
Yes, that void needs to be replaced. Okay, but yes, it is still proven that it's minimal. Okay, removing all human activity causing earthquake. So going forward, I think we need to come together as one in the world, okay, and get ready for things like this to occur. Thankfully, the world is coming around for Syria and Turkey. Even the Israel has come out, and they have well, I say they don't have any relationship with Syria, okay, but they have come out to say, okay, they are supporting. So people are coming out with different kinds of aid, be it the medical aid, be it intelligence, name it. And I also want to use this opportunity to talk to Nigerians, the Nigerian government rather, to tell them, please, we have Nigerians out there, and I know that they are going through a lot right now.
All right, just before I draw the curtain on the Vanguard newspaper, what would you say about the Supreme Court ruling restoring Lawan as the APC candidate?
Okay, it has caused so much confusion in the land, because just recently, the APC in Akwa Ibom, through Akpabio, got their own judgment, favorable judgment. Same thing happening now in Yobe South. And remember, recently, the Adeleke also lost the tribunal. So it's more like, people are more like, why is it just the court just favoring the ruling party as it stands? So, but down to the front burner, you find out that in May,
any foul play happening.
Personally, I don't like going hard on our judges, because it is the court, and the court should be fully respected. But that does not mean that we should not air our views, okay? But I'm not going to take side currently. No, I'm not going to take side, Mr. Siri. Don't push me to that. Don't push me, please. So, but you find out that in May 28th, Ahmad Lawan was supposed to contest the senatorial seat with respect to to the APC, as in the APC primary, senatorial seat of Yobe South. But he didn't do that. Reason, because he had higher ambition to become the president of this country. So he went further to contest for the to be the presidential candidate of the APC. So he withdrew from the senatorial seats that happened in May 28, and it happened that Machina was the sole candidate of the day, so he won the election. But in June, after the primaries, Ahmad Lawan lost to the person of Tinubu, Ahmed Tinubu. So what happened? He went with his goons to conduct a fresh senatorial, Yobe South senatorial primary. Are you getting that?
Yeah.
Then he won. But Machina had already been crying that he was told to step down. In fact, at a time, the APC, Lawan's APC group came out to say that he was, what do they call them then? Is it a placeholder candidate? Yes. That he was a placeholder candidate. Mind you, back then it was, placeholder was new in our vocabulary then. Because everybody was just using that avenue to hold up to some positions. Okay. So they came out to say, okay, he was being placed as a placeholder. But he rejected it. He said no, that he contested for that position so that he's not shifting grounds. What then happened? The case went to the Federal High Court, from Federal High Court to the Appellate Court, from the Appellate Court to the Supreme Court. But beforehand, Machina has been winning. But just yesterday, it happened that he lost. How did he lose? Because the court, that's the Justice Agim, they came out to say, see, out of 5 panelists, out of the 5, 3 was for the current Senate President, Ahmad Lawan, and 2 was for Machina. What was the ruling?
Against 2.
The ruling was against Machina. On which ground? On the ground that, and I need to put this as it was a big mistake from the Machina's lawyers. On the ground that the case was under the umbrella of originating someone and not writ of someone. Meaning that when you're talking about originating someone, you are talking from the point or from the space that this case is not contestable.
Okay.
But from the place of writ of someone, you are now coming from the place that this is contestable. So the judges, they were like, see, you are telling us that this case of the May 28th and the June 8th case, the June 9th case, that's, I mean, the 2 primaries that happened, that is not contestable. So we are going by what you presented to us. Okay. You did not make the application that this is contestable, but you made the application that you are asking the court to interpret this matter.
Okay.
Okay. So that was the ground.
There was an error. Yes,
but I think so what way forward for Machina right now? He just needs to go meet his party, or he needs to just allow it go, because the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. And after the Supreme Court, they say that the next person you're going to meet is God. Okay? So maybe you should go and consult God, because right now the Supreme Court can't do anything. What the Supreme Court can even do, the Supreme Court will not even listen to any other court. But what they can do tomorrow, what I mean tomorrow, not tomorrow, later, maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, is to revisit this case. And on their own, they can revisit their own case, and not a court telling them to go and revisit this particular. By their own mind, by their own power, they can just say, okay, let's revisit the case. But as it stands now, Machinda is off the game. But
so mentally, what do you think this loss will do to Machina right now?
For him, like I said, he should go and consult God, or he should just go and consult his party and find ways to come together with it. But for now, it is looking so gloomy for Ahmad Lawan, who even came out. To me, he at this time I can say something. To me, he insulted this democracy because he said that this judgment was for democracy. How I ask, in the case where you did not perform, you did not participate in the first election that happened, which was supervised by INEC. Okay, you guys now went on to do a fresh election without the INEC being there. And oh God, let me rest my case here, my brother.
Thank you so much, Mr. Victor.
It's a hot afternoon now, by the way.
We'll go on a quick break right now. When we return, more discussions.
Now that you have registered for your PVC, it doesn't stop there. Ensure you pick up your PVC. Be alert. Join many Nigerians to vote credible leaders that will change the tide of this nation. Do not sell your vote. Remember, this is our future. Your vote is your voice.
This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited.
Okay, welcome back from that short break. And moving over now to our next and last paper for the day, we shall be looking at the Sporting Sun. Yes, I know a lot of you must be surprised right now. The Sporting Sun, yes, it's not a regular. Today's edition of Newspaper Review, it's taking a different twist to it, adding sports into the mix. I mean, every day, you can't be eating one soup every day, Mr. Victor. Some days we eat politics, some days we eat sports. So today, we'll be wrapping it off with the Sporting Sun newspaper, where we have interesting news on sports, especially football. This one here on page 6 says, Global Rankings of Best Take-On Players. Global Rankings of Best Take-On Players. Chukwueze on the same level as Harry Kane. Global Rankings on Best Take-On Players. Chukwueze on the same level as Harry Kane. Wow, that's a huge plus there for the Nigerian that plays for Villarreal. On another headline here, we have Atletico to join race to sign N'Golo Kante. Atletico to join race to sign N'Golo Kante. Okay, on page 6 here we have again, fresh doubts emerge over Mbosi's wealth amid Sheffield takeover bid. Fresh doubts emerge over Mbosi's wealth amid Sheffield takeover bid. More of that headline is on page 6. Page 2, we have Manchester City facing expulsion from Premier League. That's a huge one there on page 2. Manchester City facing expulsion from the Premier League. Hits with over 100 alleged financial breaches. Guardiola tipped to quit Citizens. More of that is on page 2 of the Sporting Sun. Okay. Another one here says on page 2, Klopp's Liverpool future depends on Champions League. Klopp's Liverpool future depends on Champions League. That's on page 2 as well. On another page here, we have AC Milan, Atletico Madrid chase Aubameyang. AC Milan, Atletico Madrid chase Aubameyang. And in the world of boxing, Anthony Joshua battles Franklin on April 1st at the O2 Arena. Anthony Joshua battles Franklin on April 1st at the O2 Arena. That's on the world of boxing. Another one here says, Ronaldo accused of making matches more difficult. Wow. Ronaldo accused of making matches more difficult. Okay. Still on page 6, we have Ian Acho makes Premier League Team of the Week list. Ian Acho makes Premier League Team of the Week list. That's on page 6. Another great news there for Nigerians around the world and for Nigerians as well. Harry Kane eyes Premier League history. Harry Kane eyes Premier League history after breaking Spurs' goal record. Okay. And this one says, it's difficult to defend against Terem Murphy. It's difficult to defend against Terem Murphy. And this one says, Osimhen breaks Ronaldo Serie A record. Osimhen breaks Ronaldo Serie A record. Okay. And lastly, we have here Lookman, best rated player in Serie A, team of the month. Lookman, best rated player in Serie A, team of the month. Okay, that's the much we can take on today's Sporting Sun, headlines Sporting Sun. Before we call it a day, Mr. Victor, one of the major sports news now making the rounds in the papers, in various news outlets, is Manchester City's financial problem. I think the breaching they had in their financial dealings with players over the years. I think Nemesis has come back to haunt them now as regards the FFP rules. They are currently being investigated seriously, and they might most likely be banned or expelled from the Premier League anytime soon, should they be found guilty of the allegations that have been placed against them. What do you make of this headline? How do you see Manchester City coping if they are being expelled from the Premier League? And of course, they also face having a 15 points or 10 points deduction from their already existing campaign. What do you make of this?
And it came like a boomerang. Came so shocking to me. And this investigation has been ongoing for 4 years. That makes it so unique. And if you also notice this case, they say that it's been there. They've been investigating it from the year 2018 down to date. And these are about over 100 charges that they are going to face.
Wow.
My brother, if it's really over 100 charges, I don't see where they will survive. I don't think they will survive this.
So they have been investigating for over 4 years. Don't you think they must have gathered a lot of evidence to actually put you to book?
And one thing we should also notice is that England will not jeopardize with this game. The EPL, the English Premier League, they will not jeopardize with their game because they have a reputation to protect. Oh my God, very high. The high revenues they make from this, their tourism industry, the monies that they make out of this, the media. So for them to come out, I mind it took them 4 years to investigate, meaning that they did not just want to cause. It's not like the Italy. Italy is already known for their issues. This is the English. Right? Yes, Juventus, Inter Milan has had their own issues. But if you find out that the English Premier League, it took them 4 years to investigate this matter. Now they are coming out in full force to say we are pushing it to a panel to investigate further. Okay. And what they say that they've been contacted that Manchester City, that they were refusing to give them some documents.
So do you see this affecting the mentality of the team right now? They are in the middle of a campaign and they're in the middle of trying to trace down Arsenal, hunt them down for the league title, and then such a news is coming up. Pep Guardiola, the tactician there, stressing his mind, thinking of different tactics to make Manchester City victorious again this year. What do you see this doing to the campaign momentum City already have at the moment?
Trust issues, and when trust issues like this comes up,
because don't forget,
it reduces performance.
Exactly, because Pep also, I think when he was being asked about City owners and how they get deals done, Pep made the press conference look that he trusts his owners, and if for any reason it is being found out that the owners aren't being sincere to him as to how they get deals done, then he will not hesitate to quit. I think that may be the case right now.
So what are the issues too? Some of the issues here is that some players, the figures that they put that they are paying them isn't what is on the books. Okay? So plenty foul plays, even in adverts, even in their TV rights, even in their sponsorship deals, that the numbers do not add up. So, and mind you, and just recently, I think this might also be the issue why when they released their books of the revenues that they got over the past 1 year, Man City was the highest in the whole of England. And I was like, how? A spending club like this, having the #1 revenue, it did not add up for me. Where's Manchester United in all of this? Where's Arsenal?
more
How
like
can you compare Manchester City revenue to Arsenal and Manchester United?
Arsenal
When I
has
saw those figures, I was like,
Arsenal has the highest
stingy
ticket.
as Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Arsenal, 1 naira will not cross them by. They will collect that money.
Thank God you said that.
No, of course now it's my club and I understand how they run their things. Every 1 naira counts for them. And you are telling me that Manchester City from nowhere has the highest revenue.
It's shocking.
Oh, come on, man.
It's shocking and it raises a lot of eyebrows, especially when you're a spending club as that of Manchester City. So I think right now the ones to benefit from such news more is going to be Arsenal, because Arsenal will be smiling where they are now, hoping that these sanctions actually do come to play anytime soon, hoping that Man City get expelled from the league and have their points deducted as soon as possible so they can easily stroll onto the title. But guess what? That may not really happen. I think they will receive a shocker news that maybe the investigation might continue to upper year and then City might just have to remain in the league without points deduction. So sorry about that.
Can't you see my face? I'm just looking at the camera. This is newspaper review, not sports, not Let's Talk Football. Okay, I don't have time for your banter. Okay, this is newspaper review.
Oh my God. Okay, it's a sad period, a sad moment, a sad experience right now for the City faithfuls and of course the people, the owners of City, because if this should happen, wow, it's gonna be a huge loss. How do you expect to come back? How do you expect to?
Are you asking me?
Like I'm talking. I'm just saying. How do you expect City to come back to being the City we know today? Because if this happens, we see a lot of players, top players, looking for greener pastures elsewhere. Pep Guardiola has already made it known that he will not be staying. So I see him coming to Chelsea. By the way, I hope he comes to Chelsea. So sad times ahead, and I hope City gets through this phase quickly. So sorry for Manchester City. So sorry. Next time, be more careful in your transfer dealings. Okay, that's the much you can take in today's.
And Chelsea too.
Clean Chelsea. We are clean.
Oh.
We are clean people.
Remember, you guys got 2 years ban.
Oh please, yeah. That was just,
look at clean people.
That was just
look at
2
clean
years
people.
ban, but we coped to that. We coped to it, right? We coped to it. Well, that's by the way. Thank you so
That's
much
the
for
one they
staying.
found.
Thank
They
you
did
so
not,
much
they
for
did not see
staying
other
faithful.
ones.
Mr. Victor, thank you so much for your time with me. I really appreciate it. And as for you watching us to this time, I say thank you, because without you, we would not be here. But this is the end of the newspaper review for today. Please, if you are just seeing this video, make sure you subscribe. And after subscribing, turn on your notification bell so you get notified when we come online and drop our new videos. Do well to check us out on all our social media platforms as well. On Facebook, we are at TAF TV. On Instagram, we are TAF TV_NG. On Facebook, we're on Twitter, we are TAF TV. And on YouTube, we are TAF TV. My name is Cyril Aloysius once again. Until we come your way again next time to enjoy the